If you had the chance to be Mr. Miyagi for a reboot of The Karate Kid, would you take it?
Those are some big shoes to fill. That man is loved by everybody. He is amazing. He
Loved
was
by
a great
everybody too,
actor.
Daddy.
Wow, thank you. That's great. And I would have to say, in answer to the question, yes, with trepidation, because I'd be afraid of ruining something that he created, because he really created a wonderful role. And myself, I grew up watching that and Happy Days, and him as Arnold or Arnold's Restaurant. I forget what he was in Happy Days, but
I didn't know that.
oh yeah, I remember there was one episode where somebody had called him Arnold, like I just did. And he says, "I'm not Arnold. Does this look like the face of an Arnold?" But he was great in The Karate Kid. I loved it. And so, yeah, I'd jump at the chance, and I'd just try to do my best.
That's awesome.
And live up to what the wonderful role he created.
That's awesome. Always say yes to opportunities.
That's right.
What was my favorite thing to do with you as a child? Oh God.
No, it was. I was just thinking that at one point, you know, we were already living in separate places. So I'd come over and visit, and so you'd come out and sit in the car, and we would like roll the sunroof back and then look up at the sky and just talk about things, and look at the shapes of clouds and talk about things. And you tell me how things were going in school, and I'd tell you how I was doing, and so our time in sitting and talking. In particular, a special thing that we did together, I mean, we both draw, and so we both like to draw.
That's one of my favorites.
And I remember, I told you this story once, and you told me more about it, is when I'd come for a visit, and we went out to a caravan by the beach, and we were sitting around with activities to do, and so your mom got out some drawing stuff for us, because you like to draw. And you said, "Daddy, can you draw me something?" And I was like, "Oh, well, what should I draw?" And you said, "A mermaid on a rock in the ocean." And so I said, "Okay." And so I started sketching this out, and I couldn't remember that. You told me the story, and it's like, "Oh, I kind of remember doing that." And you said, "Yeah, but you didn't just draw that. You had the waves crashing, and you had a tall sailing ship in the background, and all this stuff." And she said, I took it and I laminated it, and I still have it somewhere.
I was just going to say, I can tell you every stroke of that pen on that piece of paper, because it was laminated. It was about this big.
Oh.
It was laminated, and I still have it somewhere. I've held onto it through all these years because it's one of the most beautiful drawings I've ever seen. And you throw it out, and nobody knows, but this guy is an incredible artist. He makes incredible cartoons and landscapes, and it's just so beautiful. But he just, get it out there, it's so pretty.
Yeah, not published, just a hobby.
Did Kate ever get into school fights? That's an
I don't remember you being in any school fights. I think.
Good, because I never was.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's why. I never heard about those. The only thing I remember seeing was how you were always cooperative with other kids, and you had not a competitive streak in your body. I remember at a school, or I think it was a school fete. So everybody gets together, and they have such things in America too. Everybody gets together with the kids, and they have little events, the sack race and things. And so they had a race set up, and there was little lanes with tape, and all the kids were standing there, and everybody else knew what was going on. But you were just there to have fun with other kids, like I'm around other kids. And so bang, they said go or something, and everybody else started running, and you're like just catching up with them. Where are we going?
Oh my gosh!
You were just eager to keep up with everybody else to have fun. You had no idea that you're supposed to be competing.
Oh my goodness! I can tell you, I definitely grew out of that, and I got very competitive when I started to get a bit of confidence. But I used to be very shy.
Yeah.
So yeah, non-competitive, and then flipped a biscuit and went insane, I guess. So.
Well, you did mention, I think in one of the questions earlier, how I seen how you changed, and that is one that you've really blossomed, and you became much more confident and very organized in how you do things. And when you were young, you were very quiet. You know, you were just busy exploring and studying everything, taking it all in. At some point, it all clicked, and you said, "I can handle this."
I just snapped and went insane, basically. What is Kate's best feature? Winky face. Is that winky? No, it's a kitty face.
Best feature. Well, I gotta say the eyes, because
I got daddy's eyes.
Yeah, I got eyes, and I see that a lot in the comments. People talk about your eyes are very unique, and it's that Native American side coming out. And it was you were just the perfect blend of your mom and I, because your mom has very fair hair and light skin and pretty eyes, and yeah, you just were the perfect blending of both. And so those unique features create such an exotic look that you have a lot of fans that just say, "Oh, that's so wonderful! You're so pretty." And how do you do that with the makeup and everything? And it's not just the looks, but also you're very good with the makeup too.
Thank you.
And it's very classy and subdued, and you're so pretty without it. You don't even need it, but yet you managed to make yourself even better somehow.
Oh, it's amazing. It took a lot of practice.
Did it? Oh, okay.
Was Kate ever afraid of monsters under the bed?
You were always quite good. You had your own room. You did have the night terror sometimes. I remember that. I think all kids go through that night terror stage. But it was just dreams. It wasn't there's something under the bed. It's I had a bad dream. And the only other time I remember you calling out was when you were just actually ill and you needed help. And
I remember I was going to poop myself. Needed some assistance with that. In the poo department.
I don't think it was the poo department. It was when you were really ill. I remember once, fortunately only once, it was the chicken pox thing.
I remember that. I gave my dad the chicken pox.
Well, kind of.
Did you give me the chicken pox?
No, it was this. Mothers have this secret agreement among themselves that fathers don't know about, and it is, if your child gets chicken pox, so let us all know so we can bring our kids over and we get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, I was one of those kids that never had it, and so I was an adult, and there was this very serious, heated debate about, you're going to stay and help with this, and he's like, you are aware I've not had this. And so it was like, going back and forth, and finally I was like, yes, you're right, I'll go do the dad thing. And so you were covered in spots.
Yeah.
And feeling all itchy and bad, and I was holding you in my arms in bed and reading you a bedtime story. And it was pretty bad for me, but to be honest, it was bad for you too. I mean, we both had it. I think it was the Native American side that we reacted very badly to it. There was a British doctor, one of our neighbors, who came over, and she's like, "Oh, I've never seen it like that before."
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See, I vaguely remember being put in a bath. I don't know if it was pink, but I remember...
That's right, calamine.
It was?
It was calamine.
I remember being very itchy, and it was very hard not to scratch, but I wasn't like 4 years old.
You were telling me not to scratch.
I was telling you not to scratch.
Daddy, stop scratching! Stop!
Yes, you were so good. But I remember at one point you were sitting like this. You were standing, rather, not sitting. You had your arms out. You said, "I can't do anything."
Oh.
I felt so sorry for you.
Oh. How long did it last? I don't know.
Way too long.
Really?
I was in the military. I mean, you stayed home from school because the schools were like, "Oh no, don't bring that in."
Yeah, just take down the whole class.
Yeah, but at work, it was like, well, you're getting paid by taxpayers. You have to come in every day and make sure, and we'll decide when you come back. So after you've had it just ravage your skin, then you're covered with all these terrible
little
wounds.
Scars and,
and it's you scab up is what it is, and so it looks like you've been peppered with a shotgun blast.
Oh my gosh!
And so I would have to go into the hospital like every other day, and they would check me. It's like, yeah, you can't come into work yet. Go back home. And meanwhile, there was like mothers grabbing their children, like, oh, what's wrong with them? It's like, oh, please don't make me come in again. It's like, nope, you got to come back in 2 days.
Oh
like,
my gosh! I'm so sorry I did that to you.
No, it's I could have left. I could have run from the country.
But you didn't. You stayed and you nearly died. What are your favorite Kate-isms, if I have any?
I love your laugh.
My loud, obnoxious laugh.
It's the same way I laugh.
That's true.
Yeah, I laugh very boisterously, out loud, and
it's a
unreserved.
proper belly laugh, isn't it?
That's right. I enjoy humor, and so I don't hold back at all. When something's funny, even when I've said something funny, or if I need to help somebody else to realize what I said was just funny, I'll laugh.
How did you feel when Kate started vlogging?
Vlogging? I didn't even know what it was. I mean, I'd heard of blogs.
Blogs, yeah.
I'd heard of blogs, and it was like people write these blogs about their careers or things or hobbies, and then everybody signs on board, and so it's like a vlog. And I wasn't sure I was saying it right. It's like, yes, it's a video blog. It's like that's amazing. So you do these things, and you just show people what you're doing at the end of the day, and they follow you, and they're interested. And it's like, to me, it was an amazing concept. I'd never seen such a thing before, but then I started watching them, and I've been watching them ever since. Like, these are great.
Yay! What was Kate's strangest quirk while growing up?
No, I wouldn't say it's quirk. I'd say the creativeness. And you said it in one of your videos when you came to visit me. You said, "Oh, this is where I'm going through that awkward age of deciding what fashion was."
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was like I'd come home, and you'd had the oddest combination of clothes. I was like these sort of Beetlejuice socks came up over your knees, and then like a pink, I don't know, whatever, tutu, and then other things all put together, and it's like. So it was just part of experimenting, but it all worked out because you got a real sense for a flair for fashion and stuff.
A real sense of what not to do because I've already done it.
Process of elimination.
Yes. Is Kathleen truly the dignified young lady she makes us believe that she is?
She is. She is very good and has always, like I said, treated other people very kindly and tried to help them and stuff.
Hey, people.
And there's only been probably a couple times where she has said something that surprised me, and it was still very modest or minor things. It was because I caught her off guard with something.
Maybe a little aggressive sometimes. Maybe a little competitive nowadays. What about that Facebook fight I had the other day?
The Facebook fight. Well, I was just concerned because if you got involved in one of these things, which some people do, there's always often regrets afterwards, like I went too far or I said the wrong thing. And but as I saw it develop, I saw that you were kind of encouraging this person also. So it was like it wasn't like flaming, I think is the term. It was more like creative banter.
Yeah, that's okay. That's how I see it. Creative banter. Yeah, it's more of a like, come on, let's do this. Than a yeah. No, I've never done that.
It was like the rap Smackdown without the Smackdown.
How many grandchildren do you want from Kate?
You get to keep them all. I'm done. I see where this is going. It's this is one of those awkward drinking moments.
Oh God.
I'll get a towel.
Thanks.